This over here is a battery. It's from the brand Duracell. It has plus power, so it should last longer. How does a battery work? I'm not going into the deep specifics here. It comes down to the following. There is a metal that's positively charged above, and you have the one negatively charged below. You put them in a device. In one device, the negative is provoked, as well as a positive. With the metals, you put it in the device. When you unlock the device, the magnetic stream from the negative to the positive is, is released. So, then, from negative to the positive and negative to the positive, the energy keeps flowing. Until the charge is done, they need to recharge the battery. And some batteries you can't recharge because you'll get in trouble. These ones are not rechargeable. Why am I explaining this about batteries? In the movie The Matrix, which the big rulers designed, and they enacted the movie in such a way to explain to you how the world system works. But a lot of folks think the movie The Matrix is just for fun. No. Hollywood, or let me say Hollywood, but I call it Hollyweird because they do very weird things. Hollyweird never makes movies just to entertain you, just to make you laugh, or just to give you a good time. No, they don't make movies for your relaxation. They make movies to indoctrinate you, to deform you, and to teach you something. And there are times in those movies they tell you things as they are. So The Matrix is more as a covert documentary. And in the documentary, I believe it was, I forgot the name of that character. But anyway, the guy told Neo that the purpose of the Matrix is to make human beings into a battery. Now when you hear that in the movie, you think, okay, what's this? Making human beings into a battery. Okay, let me uncode. Let me decode that wish language for you. A battery has a positive charge and a negative charge. You can't have two positive charges and two negative charges. No, you need a positive and negative charge. And positive only has to do with the type of tension there is. Not because this part is good and the part is bad. But that's what you need physically for a battery to work. In society it works like this. People have a need for significance. That's a natural, deep-rooted human need. Just like the need for safety and need for security. So to give an incentive for people to comply with society, you need to give them social validation once they comply with the demands of society. And those who are able to comply with the demands, due to economic or political opportunity, they get the plus. But the only reason their plus is worth anything is because others are in the minus. So the only way the plus has its value is because there is a minus. You create the minus category by putting an emphasis on the plus. You have people that are important because you have unimportant people. The moment you create the category important people, that automatically means there are unimportant people. If you say there are people that matter, that automatically means that others don't matter. And what makes them matter? So that's the plus. The group that matters. And the group that matters only matters because they are in comparison to those that don't matter. So, but how do you justify the plus group? You justify it by projecting all that's wrong within a community on the people who are not important, on the people who don't matter. So, for this to work, you need to pamper the plus group with benefits at the expense of the minus group. And in the game you tell them, if you work hard and comply with these rules, you jump through these hoops, you're in, you've made it. Of course, those who have been pampered with benefits can easily comply with the demands. For them it's easy. But those at whose expense the plus group has been pampered with benefits, they have a very hard time complying with the demands of society. Many have a hard time earning a living because the resources are so located in society that the only they have is physical work. And even that is often not enough for them. So, because according to the game, those that comply, work hard, earn it, automatically those that are in the plus group, they get the benefits. They already have benefits and now they keep the benefits to themselves because they earn it. And the rest of the population wants to be significant. They don't want to be seen as lazy, incompetent whiners. So they want to fight hard to come close to the plus group. But they can never all belong to the plus group because once everyone belongs to the plus group, what's the use of the plus group? The only reason the plus group is a plus group is because they are pampered with benefits. Yet the illusion is there that they worked for it, that they've earned it. Now those that don't belong to the plus group, because on this battery you can see that the plus is smaller than the minus. And you have this small in between here. So you have this grayish in between, this copper, well, the colors, I call the colors copper, is more like brownish, but okay. You have the copper plus, let's say it's copper. You have the silver in between, and you have the black majority. The black majority is what you call the honor class or the working class. The tiny space between here is the middle class. That's what it's supposed to represent. But in factuality, both the middle class and the honor class are both part of the black. This in between are the people who are not really middle class, they're not really big owners of property or anything like that, but they're a bit more prosperous. They own hundreds of thousands of euros, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're not millionaires, but they can get around. And then you have the plus. The plus are those that own the banks, they own the businesses, the multinational businesses. They even are big stakeholders in government. Not all of them really own much physical resource, but they belong to the plus group. Okay? So, as long as the plus group remains small, the deception works. The moment more people become part of the plus group, the deception loses its strength. So you need to keep the plus group small with all the benefits while all the others are struggling. And the reason they think the struggling is worth it is because one day they may belong to the plus group or they may be regarded by someone from the plus group. So that's how those in the plus group retain all the benefits at the expense of the rest. But the rest is brainwashed into thinking that this is just the way it is. You have to work hard, you need to do something in order to get somewhere. And they don't realize that the structures in which you have to work hard are laid out by those in the plus group. So why would those in the plus group lay out a structure at their own expense? You're only in the plus group because you are considered part of the minus group. So why would those in the plus group lay out a structure for you to defeat them and take away their benefits? They wouldn't. I'm not saying that there are no benevolent people from the plus group, there are. But in general, the plus group operates in self-interest for the group in which the others are not included. And because many in the black parts realize they might never become part of the copper, the plus, they may settle for this one over here, this middle over here. It's a bit above the middle class, but even there many won't reach it because people from the black begin to retaliate against you when you come close to the silver. The silver is more as a war zone. The blacks here, I mean those who belong to the minus group, don't want you to be part of the silver because then they feel bad about themselves being part of the minus. So they're going to attack you so that you will remain in the minus. And those in the plus don't really want many people into the plus group, or else they're not a plus group anymore. So that's society in short. The matrix, or the fear construct that the pagan rulers enact, well, they enacted what's really the population that complies with it, is to keep this going. So you become a battery. Or better said, you're the lower part of the battery. From you, energy flows to the plus. What's that energy? Your life. You have to go to work every day. You get a paycheck at the end of the month. You have 25 to 30 days free the whole year. That's how you remain for decades until you get the pension and you die a few years after. While those in the plus group, they have mansions, they have, some of them have private jets collectively. I say collectively because there are those with mansions, but not all of them. They're not that super rich as they claim to be. Because that's also part of the plus group deception. But they have ease. They may have to work in practice 2 months a year, or less, some don't even work at all. And they have ease, they have options. While you have to hand in your mental and physical and emotional strength. And if you fall down and die, they can't raise you from the dead. They just replace your position with someone else, often someone much younger than you. Yet, you were told that you had to be loyal to the system, you had to give your best, and you have to work hard. So you gave your all, and when you perished, well, they have no obligation towards you. Now they say it was all your fault because you wanted it, even though they didn't offer you any other way. And those in both the black part and the minus part and the plus part all continue. And the silver part is really not really a silver part, it's really an extension of the black part, but it appears silver because there's an appearance if you're better, but it's not. That's what the matrix is. You're turned into the lower part of a battery. There's nothing wrong with having a job, there's nothing wrong with paying the rent and all of that. It's part of daily life, but is this what you want forever, to be the lower part of the battery? Why not be delivered from the battery system to begin with? Why not just be delivered from it? Then you're still in the world. You may still have a job and do things, but you are using the system now instead of you being used by the system. And here's the thing. In this world, if you're part of the lower bottom of this battery, you're far more protected than if you're a born-again believer in Christ, delivered from this. The world will protect someone at the lower bottom of this battery far more than they would protect a wealthy believer. The wealthy believer is devoured, and a lot of folks allow it to happen. Think about Job, what happened to him. At a time, the matrix was not that well developed as it is now, since the Greek Empire, but it was a similar thing. It was a similar deception. If you're a wealthy believer, and you're not part of this battery, they drop you. You don't exist for them. You become an error. And many from the lower parts will fight you, even though they will want to benefit from you. So, it's not as if those here are completely evil and those here are completely innocent as victims. Those here are codependent, and those here often are psychopathic. But it's the relief seeking for self-validation that keeps us going. That's why be delivered. Agree with Christ.